Welcome back to the YoungBucks podcast, episode number 91. My name is Henry Deering. I'm here with my brother, Chris Deering, in the orange hoodie and the Tigers hat. It's not a bad match, I got to be honest.
Thank you.
But yeah, we're here. I'm back this week. Last week, the Stash Show, Kyle and Chris. I gave it a listen. I really liked it. Check it out. Audio.
Episode 90.
YouTube. Soon. And we're really thankful for the support this past month in January, the new year. It's been good over on YouTube and audio platforms. If it's your first time here, thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate you and whoever decided to share this with you. So
absolutely,
it's gonna be a good one. We're excited for what we got to bring to you guys today. It's been a good Saturday so far.
A good comeback from the sickness.
Yeah, man. I don't really get too sick very often, but we've had some dramatic weather change in Michigan, and like sinuses were just shot. And
don't look now, but we got 50s coming next week.
Yeah, and then I heard it's supposed to go back down to 30 again.
Yeah, dude. It's pretty.
Hopefully that
brutal.
doesn't knock either of us down too hard. That we can both be on the show. But yeah, I was in bed just chilling.
A lot. I mean, he made an appearance last week. You heard him.
I tried, but our third mic cord just is not holding up right now. But I got to watch some cool stuff. I watched the Florida Gators documentary on YouTube. Their football season from like 05 to 09. That's a good one.
Swamp Kings.
Yeah, they had like Urban Meyer was the coach of that team. Like he came in to coach, and he established a pretty good culture of, I guess his dad and brother were military. I don't think he was ever military, but he kind of brought that style of like working out and work ethic. He would have the guys working out at midnight so that they weren't off
midnight runs.
So that they weren't off doing, who knows what.
Right.
There was still some troubling things, but
it wasn't. Who doesn't?
It's cool though. Like that type of stuff makes me want to like be on a team or something,
The craziest thing from that, from the first episode that I watched, was the like treating my good players like good players and my crap like crap.
Yeah.
Like people got like good like tablecloth, like steak dinner, anything you could want, and then like everyone else had to like go buy hot dogs from the stand, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm. But I guess it made them earn it. Like,
make it earn it in practice. I wonder, did they ever expand on that more, or no?
About that
the champions table?
No, not really. That was the only thing that they really brought up with that. Another thing that they talked about was like, it was kind of towards the end of it with like Tebow. It was kind of like it was Tebow, not the Florida Gators.
The doc.
Yeah. Okay. No, not the doc, but the publicity at the time was a lot of like Tebow this, Tebow that. He was on magazine covers
because he was the hot product.
Yeah, I didn't realize how prominent he was in college until watching this.
He's the go to college.
Like I knew about him. Like pretty much one of the first football games I ever watched was him on the Broncos winning that playoff game that I remember. And so I thought he was like that guy, and then I knew kind of about him wearing like the John 3:16 eye black at college, the kneel pose, or like celebration,
the pray after touchdown or whatever.
Yeah, which he probably was praying. It's not just a celebration. Yeah. And then of course he started building like a brand around,
his faith.
Yeah. Or like I guess he used the presence that he already had to like exemplify faith and stuff like that. So like that's kind of what I knew about it. I didn't know too much about the college age.
Being that dog on the swamp.
Like they had
Gator.
His freshman year, they had a starting quarterback, and they brought him just to like get a few yards. Like if it was like 3rd and 1 or 4th and 2 or something like that, they just bring Tebow in and like be like run it, and he would just truck through guys. And it was like an automatic. It was like
kind of like a Taysom Hill.
It's kind of like
the Saints.
All right, we need a 3. Steph Curry, go shoot the 3. Like,
wow.
That's like.
Wow.
It was automatic, and then because they really magnified it when there was a time in the championship game where he didn't get it, and like everyone was shocked. It was like, how did he not get that?
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So he was that dog.
Yeah.
The team was that dog,
Yeah.
and they won twice, back to
Yep.
back. Did they go undefeated?
Yeah, I think the first year that they won, they lost. And I believe that one loss was to Georgia.
Okay.
And then the second year, 2007, they lost a couple games. So they didn't get to the playoff. They didn't even make it. They didn't make it to the championship.
They didn't make back-to-back games?
No.
Oh.
And then 2008, they went undefeated, won the championship game against Bama. Or maybe actually they got another loss. They may have had another loss. And then they went undefeated in 2009 and lost to Bama in the championship game.
Oh, so how many times did they win?
2.
Oh.
2 out of 3 in 4 years, if that makes sense.
Okay.
They didn't go in
yes.
07, but they
Gotcha.
they went in 09. And they said it's like the missing piece. Like they should have had that
Like they
one.
could have had 3.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that's sad.
Yeah.
But hey, still got 2. Crazy team. They were good. I didn't watch them when I was young because I really wasn't watching football back then. But hey, great piece of history is the Florida Gators, which I was unaware of until not recently because I knew Florida had a couple state championships or national championships. But like, cool, good for them.
And like seeing how you literally had to be one of the best 2 teams to get into it, and then eventually, like 10 years ago, they moved to having 4 teams, so you could be one of the top 4 teams, have a chance for the national title, and now it's gonna be 12.
Wait, it was only 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Like
so
if you had to go undefeated, basically.
So at that time, you would have 0 or 1 losses. You basically played your conference. Like they played, I think it still had that similar feel. Like the first 2 or 3 games were against like nobody.
Some mid.
Yeah, like where you're probably gonna like blow them out, and then the SEC was real tough back then. Still,
Just like it is now.
yeah, and then you had to be one of the best 2 teams. So like that was pretty cool. Like to see that they had to do that.
Yeah. That's pretty
Now with the 12
interesting.
team, I don't know how that's gonna work.
That's probably why he didn't why the Utah team went 12-0, but there's nothing about them because other people they probably didn't make it because there's only been 2 teams.
Yeah,
So there were probably other teams like in the SEC that went 12-0.
yeah, because they also rank like the difficulty. So
Right.
that team that he was coaching probably didn't play too many difficult games.
Yeah, because Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
This year Pac-12's like that, or maybe it was the Big 12. I don't know.
I think it's big. I think everybody left the Pac-12 and moved to other
Okay.
divisions.
I don't know. Too much for us. I feel like we've talked about this the last 2 times we've been on the
We
pod.
did. We did talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about Michigan and tennis.
It also after I watched that one, I watched the Aaron Hernandez doc.
Okay. Who was on the Florida team?
He was on the Florida team. They did not really reference him at all in the doc.
The Florida doc.
Yeah. And then the thumbnail or the cover on Netflix is him in a Gators jersey. So I was like, oh man, I just watched something about the Gators. Let me tune into this.
that.
And that's a sad story.
Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Don't need to expound on it.
Not really.
No.
Not really. But it was a sports-ish one. So use the time. In addition to that, I read a lot. I read a lot of
There you go.
finance, spiritual things.
Just had a lot of time with yourself,
Yeah.
which was good, I'm assuming.
Took a lot of baths. I haven't taken
Yeah,
a
you
bath
did.
in a while.
You took a lot of baths.
Epsom
and
salt,
did some weird things with socks on his feet.
I actually didn't do that last weekend.
Really?
Probably why I was sick longer than I was.
Oh my gosh. No,
Gotta
it was
be-
not.
I gotta be
no, it
honest.
was not.
I had thought about doing it, but I forgot every time.
Every time I see your wool socks out, I just think of that and just I hate it.
Sorry, man.
It's okay.
Some people know the secrets to health, some people don't, and
I think I'm figuring some of them out.
Yeah.
Eating fruit. I don't know
Yeah.
why, but it just started occurring to me that I don't eat fruit or vegetables. I think I don't know if I did talk about this last week, but there'd be days where I not feeling the best. And I'd be like, I didn't eat fruits or vegetables today. I've had, besides that fruit bowl that I just made, I had um I had asparagus the last 2 Sundays. That's it.
Shoot.
That's it, dude. That's not okay.
Yeah.
And like that's not the key to being healthy. I need my fruits and vegetables. Cuz there'll be days where I'm just drained and I'm like, "Well, why?" I think it's that. Cuz like I'm doing everything else.
Yeah, the more natural food the better, for sure.
Yeah. Cuz like at break I'd eat like peanut butter and jelly and like a granola bar and like some sort of chip, maybe that's like a Cheez-It cracker or something.
Yeah.
And then at break, I'll have whatever I had for dinner last night, or at lunch, I'll have whatever I had for dinner the night before, and then like some other stuff to go along with it. But like I never packed fruit or anything or vegetables,
Yeah.
and I'm like, why? Why didn't I? It's so simple, but I just need to. That's what I'm gonna start doing. Need to eat more healthy.
It's a tough
just
habit to build, for sure.
more purpose with what I eat.
Because it's easy to eat the wrapper stuff. Because you just got to throw that in the bag and you can eat it.
I know it's so easy. Just like, hey, Cheez-Its. I love Cheez-Its. There's no health advantage. There's no health disadvantage. There's probably some disadvantages to eating Cheez-Its.
Probably a little bit.
Yeah, but not a lot. It's just baked cheese.
You should talk to. It seems like Kyle's got a good handle
my
on
gosh,
healthy
dude.
food. You
Kyle
should give
has
him
a
a conversation.
Do you think he's gonna listen to this?
No.
We've had a lot of conversations with Health and Kyle in the past week. The past 24 hours,
Yeah.
especially. He's and I mean you heard it on the podcast last week with the challenge he's going through right now, and
What's he doing again?
I'm not sure, and so I think it's kind of just put the thought in my head that maybe I need to be eating more fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
Like maybe not tone down the sugar because like it's not like terrible. Like cuz like I'm not eating sugar like very often.
Yeah.
But like if I want a bowl of ice cream, I'm going to eat a bowl of ice cream,
Sure.
Like no, it's probably not the best for me, but like it's not terrible for me right now because like I just want a bowl of ice cream. And so I'm going to eat the bowl of ice cream. It's not going to do anything to my physical body.
Are you sure?
Not right now, it won't.
I mean, if you're saying like you need fruit because you're not feeling good, maybe you're not feeling good because of the other stuff you eat, like ice cream.
No, not that. It couldn't be that.
I mean, yeah, it might not make
Food.
It might not affect your like physical, like if you look in the mirror, I just ate ice cream or I didn't, like you're not going to look too much different, but it can still affect your like your mind and how you feel too.
Yeah.
Something to consider.
I don't know, dude. I just don't know.
Do you want to go into the health field?
No. Well, no. Well, maybe. I'd like to have like a base knowledge. I want to just have like a base knowledge of everything.
It's pretty easy too.
I know.
Just
Just start
look it
reading
up.
elementary textbooks.
Yeah.
On the low, those probably got like a lot of like just the basic information that we need. Like a fifth grade textbook,
Yeah.
like a fifth grade science
think,
textbook.
I think like the more natural stuff you eat, the better. Just fruits, nuts, meat,
Yeah. Water. I only drink water though is the thing. I don't really be drinking pop like that.
Yeah, me too.
Liquid Death, if anyone's ever had.
Is it good?
It's good. I thought it was just water in a can.
What is it?
It's like it was like I had a flavored one. It was like lime. And it was like sparkling water. It was like carbonated water in a can with like some lime to it.
Okay.
It was good because like those hint waters? Hint.
Yeah.
Those taste like you drink water and then there's just flavor in your mouth and it kind of makes you feel like you can't breathe.
Yeah.
You know the feeling of
Yeah.
drinking a hint water?
Mm-hmm.
And I hate that. This it was kind of just like this like it was kind of just like flavored water. Like it was like the water was that flavor.
Yeah. Ooh, you ever had a Propel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like those.
Those tasted good to me back in the day. I
It
bet if
felt
I had it
weird.
now it wouldn't hit the same though.
It felt weird because it's like water, but it's flavored too. It just felt weird.
Those always
to me.
tasted so good to me. But I'm scared to go back and drink one.
Yeah, I found that like going to the gas station, nothing is satisfying anymore.
The liquid death, it might hit you.
That might be the one.
Yeah. I don't know how expensive it was.
If I go, I would get water, like a
Right.
Life water or whatever.
Because it's in like a can. There's no sugar in it. It's carbonated. And it has flavor. Natural flavor.
We could do a
Taste test?
yeah.
We could do a liquid death taste test.
Write that one down.
There was mango. Just like mountain water, like normal. There's like a melon. The lime one. And there's one more that I'm forgetting.
That could be a good idea.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Let's
bringing
try
that to
that.
my
Yeah.
attention, Chris.
Yeah. Keep talking.
The NBA All-Stars were announced,
Yeah.
and no Pistons.
All right, dude. All right. Why ever were there no Pistons, Mr. 6-42?
Yeah. I'm going to a game tomorrow.
Yep. Are you excited?
Yeah.
You playing the Knicks?
No, they're not playing the Knicks.
Are you?
I like the Knicks, man. I more than the Knicks franchise, I like the team that they have.
They got a nice team.
They had the lefty trio of like Brunson and Randall and RJ when he was there. I don't mind the OG acquisition. I like the Villanova ties with like DiVincenzo there. If they could bring Mikal Bridges,
Acting like he's just like a fan.
if they could have traded RJ for Mikal Bridges, that would have been tight. That would have been nice.
Would have made a lot more sense.
But I get it because Raptors were selling and Brooklyn's probably trying to hold on to him.
Yeah.
He was an all-star prediction for a lot of people. Bridges was.
Well, Brooklyn sucks, apparently.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, well, actually, today is 3 years of dating.
Woo! Whoa, I didn't
So-
even know that.
Yeah, we're celebrating tomorrow, but today is the actual day.
And nobody said anything?
It didn't. It actually,
coffee
we
today?
we saw her there, and it didn't even cross my mind to say.
Me,
She
Henry,
didn't
and
say
Kyle
it
got
either,
coffee.
so, like,
Yeah,
that's
no,
kinda crazy.
nobody. And she was there. Man, dude.
Yesterday was Groundhog's Day. It's just a big weekend, you know.
Dang it, I'm so mad I missed it because I wanted to say Happy Groundhog's Day to you, and I knew it was coming up. Dude.
It's a joke between me and Belle because, like, the first time, like, 3 years ago, I guess, you know, today's February 3rd. So,
Yep.
like, we were talking or whatever, and I didn't say Happy New Year's. I didn't even cross my mind. But, like, that she was like, why didn't you say Happy New Year's? And I was like, I didn't know. Like, I didn't really think about it. And so then Groundhog's
you were probably asleep at 10:30.
Groundhog's Day
night.
was like the next holiday, quote unquote. So I made a big deal out of Groundhog's Day. I was like, Happy Groundhog's Day, da 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 da. So
And that was the
Each-
moment he had a lifelong relationship.
And-
And it's never going to end.
yeah, next day I was like, one date, and then you know, the rest is history. Every Groundhog's Day, you gotta make note of it.
Gotta make note.
Yeah.
Take note.
Uh-huh.
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Jeez. Screw you.
Mm-hmm. And so, yeah,
Just
each year to
be patient.
celebrate,
Be patient.
we've gone to a Pistons game. In the first year, we saw Minnesota and then Charlotte, and now we're going to see Magic.
Magic.
It's like, it's crazy with the Pistons. It's like, who you going to see? Like, who's the other team bringing to town? It's never.
It's not like,
been-
let's go see the Pistons.
It has never been like, I'm excited to go see the Pistons tonight because of the team. It's like, who are they playing? It's so crazy.
Like, we went to go see LeBron. That was fire.
Yeah, like as a kid, like I'm talking even like, yeah, like we're like 6-7 years ago. It's like, oh, they're playing the Pacers. Paul George is in town.
Well, let's go see him.
Or like
Derrick Rose. Kobe.
D
Rest in
Rose
peace.
and Jimmy Butler. Yeah.
LeBron.
those
Kyrie.
are-
In town.
mhm.
What a good time.
Yeah. I got to see they played the Clippers
Last night.
one year. No. Like Dad took me to a game, and it was when they had
Oh.
like the CP, Blake, and DeAndre Jordan.
Reggie Bullock, CJ Wilcox type team.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were there.
Don't tempt me on my early 2010s Clippers trivia, dude.
Or were you a fan?
They were my team, dude. Lob City Clips, dude. That was my team,
dude.
JJ. I like listening to JJ Redick.
Dude, he has the best NBA podcast.
Do you know who he had a great show with? Was Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson. I didn't watch the whole thing, so I don't know why I said it's a great show. But I watched a lot of clips of it, like long clips. I was like, wow, Cam Johnson's so intricate and like smart, yet humble and relatable.
Did you see that? Like, if it was like when they interview like two players on the same team or two players, whatever, it's like Bridges and Cam Johnson, but they're separate, and it'll be like they'll say, ask Cam, they'll be like, if Mikal Bridges wasn't a NBA player, what would he be? And like Cam would be like school teacher, and then Mikal would answer the question, and he'd be like, I'd probably be a school teacher, and then I think Cam was like, they were like, Mikal, what would Cam be? He's like, probably a scientist. And like, yeah, that's what Cam said. I'm pretty sure it was like something where like you have to be smart to do the thing. I know what you're saying. Yeah, JJ does a good job with interviews. Another guy actually that I've seen some stuff of, not a whole lot, is MPJ.
Yep.
Michael Porter's is pretty good. Curious Mike.
He like prayed for somebody.
I was gonna bring that up.
Interview.
I was gonna bring that up.
I think. Am I recalling this correctly?
Yes, because I almost sent you a video that I watched about I don't even remember what the topic was anymore.
Because it was with a girl.
Oh, you know what? I watched I don't know if you know, he's big business and stuff like that. Patrick Bet David. Have you seen any of his stuff?
Oh, I've heard of Patrick Bet David.
He and his guys were talking about the CJ Stroud interview after his game against the Browns.
Is Bet David a Christian?
Yes.
Okay.
He was like, so CJ Stroud won a football game for his team this year, and they interviewed him after the game, and the first thing he said, they were like, CJ, how do you feel? And he's like, first of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And then
he's been doing it all year.
Yeah.
He's getting on platforms, everything like that.
And then he's like, we've been doing a good job, da-da-da-da-da. And so when it went to the NBC Instagram, it was like, CJ, how do you feel? And he's like, they cut to when he's like, we've been having a good year, da-da-da. And so they were reacting to like why they cut out the
thing about Jesus.
Yeah. And then they started talking about some of the good stuff that's been happening. They talked about Michael Porter Jr. praying for a girl.
I've seen a lot of like Christian athletes recently.
It's making a rise, man. I think we've referred to it a few times where in the past few years or whatever, however long you even want to go back to it, there's been such a push against it. There's been such like worldly evil things that happen and become popular in society that there has to be an equal shift at some point in time.
Right.
And it's honestly beginning
in sports world, which is
sports world,
because they have the biggest platform, 100%. So I think if it starts there, like that's the best way for it to go, and it will make people like have to talk about it, because if that's what the main thing is, like if the biggest stars are talking about that, then that's what they have. That's what the media has to talk about.
Brock Purdy has openly spoke about it. Stop.
Okay.
He's a Super Bowl quarterback for the 49ers.
Yep.
Well, they're in the Super Bowl. They haven't won, but it'd be cool if he won and was able to talk about that. So yeah, there is a decent amount of stuff.
Yeah, maybe I will be rooting for the 49ers. Definitely not rooting for the Chiefs, but didn't know if I was rooting for the 49ers either. But
yeah,
I don't want to see the Chiefs win. I don't even want to talk about the Super Bowl.
I don't either. I
don't even want to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the Lions game either.
No.
What Lions game?
I don't know. It's fine.
But yeah, the Christian uprising is pretty. It's pretty cool to see.
Even on social media too, like George Janko was the third host on
Impulsive,
which is one of the bigger creator-centered podcasts.
Yeah,
like that was started by one.
100%.
And then he goes off and he's now has his own show that is doing really well. I was scrolling through. He's had some big guests, got some good, lot of views.
A lot, he's doing really, really well for himself.
And it's interesting to like he swears. And I saw one of the most recent guests asked him, he was like, why do you swear? And he's like, I'm not super convicted about it, But he's like, I'm starting to realize that I'm having a bigger platform, so I need to be wise with my words.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting. Like, he's not like a perfect dude, or like what you would think about like a Christian, and not. I mean, if your pastor is swearing, or you're not going to be hearing swearing in church, like in like
Right, but
regular dialogue.
you kind of like expect like the pastor, like a pastor is someone that has went through the schooling, gotten all like his certifications to be the pastor of a church. Like when it comes to like people that have a platform, i.e. George Janko, us too. I don't know. I'm thinking of
Gideon.
Yeah, there's that one working out dude, the guy that works out. He was on George's podcast too. I can't think of his name though. But
It's not Martin.
No. He's got longer hair, but I don't know.
Either way.
And so like you have platforms like that, like we just know what we know, about the Bible, and like what we learn, trying to share that, see if it can relate to other people, because that's what's going on in our lives. And so like you don't expect us to be perfect. Like you kind of expect that from a pastor, even though it shouldn't be, because pastors are humans just like we are.
Sure.
But they just have all the credentials that say I'm a pastor.
Yeah. I get your point.
Mad respect to the pastors out there.
So like but from like, I guess if you're like, what's a Christian role model? You're not going to see swearing.
Right.
And so it's interesting that he's, in one sense, a Christian role model, as he's building a platform and talking about Jesus, and he's still working through things that most Christians would be like, well, he's not a Christian because he swears.
Yeah.
Who's to say? I get it. Like, I mean, you, as someone who is a Christian and is not using swear words on their platform or daily life, I'm kind of like, it's not something I would add to my lifestyle. But it's something like everyone struggles with, something that they're working through and being sanctified with. Eventually.
It's just Alex Eubank.
Okay.
Was the guy. Yeah, pretty sure he's a Jesus follower. No, I don't think. Like, it's just a trial, Like, people, like, it's just something to get over. Because you live one way for so long, you're not going to just instantly switch. It's a process. It's a walk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what we're going through. Everybody is. Even if you're not a follower of Jesus or a believer, it's still a walk of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Something like that, I guess I'm primarily working through, we kind of touched on 2 weeks ago when I was here, is finances. And like I said, I've been listening to a lot of Dave Ramsey stuff, listening to his show where people call in and kind of talk about their problems or successes and ask him questions about like what to do. And this pastor called in and he was like, so I guess I should preface with saying one of the phrases that's used around his brand is like, you got to live like no one else, so later you can live like no one else and be able to give like nobody else. So in the sense of like, right now, if you're not where you want to be, you got to buckle down on a budget, not spending as much as you think you should, or like living below your means, not getting into debt with like consumer things.
Giving purpose to every dollar.
Yeah. So like living below what you need to. So eventually when you are at a place of prosperity, you can live the way that you want to, with traveling and enjoying things and having a nicer vehicle or whatever it is that you want to put that money towards. And also in addition to that, being able to give away money too, or just like whatever that looks like being able to be generous and help people. And so this pastor calls in and he's like, yo, so he didn't say yo, but he was like, I did that. I lived, we lived like nobody else. And now we're in a place where like, we're really fine. Like we're really good financially. He's like, I got no problem giving. I can give money away, help people, be generous. But the living part, like living like no one else, like taking those travel and vacations, like buying that car that, we can afford now because we've done the steps of like getting to a place where financially we can do that. He's like, I can't, it's a hard time doing that because I got a congregation of people and like what example am I to set?
Yeah.
If I'm, kind of,
Living a good
everyone's
life.
paying for my life basically. And Dave was like, I mean, he kind of talked to him, pointed to a few Bible verses. He's like, I'm sure you've seen these, right, right, right. And eventually, the kind of final point of it was like, why we accept all God's blessings and like can be thankful for them outwardly, but like with finances, like you have to, like, it's like, oh, I should apologize for that, like kind of being apologetic towards, man, I'm the pastor. I'm sorry I bought this nice car because I was smart and I was a steward of my money and I managed
Yeah.
it well. He's like, what? Like, you're not supposed to be like dumb and broke and stupid, and like that's a good financial example.
Yeah.
It's interesting how like it can be kind of twisted, and I think that's the work of the enemy too, like to put that into
Absolutely.
people's minds. Like, it's okay to be smart. Because the thing I like most about Dave and the process and the principles is he just talks about it being math. Like, take the emotion out of it being like having a
Being
dollar
stoic.
sign. Yeah,
He's
it's just
stoic
like,
with it.
it's principle, it's math, it's wisdom and stewardship. It's just taking care of something. It's just like taking care of the vehicle you drive or the place you live, like the environment you have,
Absolutely.
your body you have. Like, it's just weird how like the finances is like, oh, I should be sorry for
Like
whatever,
you earned
whatever.
that money. Like you put in the work to earn the money and did the work to save the money and now go spend it. You know?
Yeah.
Like
That's what he was telling him, basically. Not in an unwise way. Don't like switch up the way you've been, but if you've done the steps, do it. So that's the place like that I'm future planning to be at right now, is like kind of the living like no one else stage. But it's interesting. That's how my brain thinks, is like principles, math, I get it, like logic. And so hearing him take like emotions away from money has been really, really beneficial towards like thinking about it.
are you having emotional attachments to your money?
Not like crazy, like, oh man, whatever, but like more so adding logic to it of like, okay, this just like, it's pretty straightforward, like thinking through it.
Yeah.
Don't do too much, don't be too crazy. It's just money. Just be wise with it. Learn more. Like, it's okay to learn. Like, you don't have to feel bad about trying to learn how to manage money. Because I think a twisted Bible verse is when it talks about how you can't serve God and money. Like, no servant can serve two masters. If you're serving God and you're living your life that way, it's like, it talks about being a steward of money. So you're not serving money to like.
You can serve God with your money.
Yeah, right. It's a command to like be wise with it.
Yeah. I mean, like for me, as far as financially, like this past week was the first week where money came out of my bank account to like for my tithing or like giving to the church. Cause like I put it in 2 weeks ago, but like the way they had it set up, like I picked the wrong bank for my bank account. Like apparently there was like two different, like
with the same name.
right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I did, and I put it all in. It was like the exact same, like same colors, same logo, same everything. But then I looked. Yeah, dude. But it was two different web addresses. So then like this, like the
so
first
it was
time
like
it
an
said
error
it
on the
failed.
website.
Yeah, it failed, and so I was like, why did it fail? And then I like typed it back in because like they do it through a third party to get to the credit union, and so I like looked up on my phone. I looked up the credit union, and I saw the web address. I was like, oh, I picked the wrong one. So I picked the one with the right web address on here, and so I figured it out, got it all set up. So this was the first week it actually came out of my bank account, and like I got the notification. I was like, oh, cool. Like I it's not on my mind like that money like it's not even like a thought in my brain, which is cool. And then like I'm given once a month to our friend down in Florida, and like I really haven't even thought about that since I did that, and I did that about a month ago. So yeah, like I feel like I'm not as emotionally attached to my money. Like I know I can go pay for gas. Like I know I can. Like if I needed to, I could buy a car right now, which I want to start looking for one.
Yeah.
Even though I don't need to.
Do you want a diesel truck?
Okay, let's say I made an investment on a diesel truck, right? I don't know how much one would be. I'm not even thinking into it too far. Maybe, let's say 20 for a diesel truck. I don't even know how much one is. That thing, if I bought it, has like maybe 200,000 miles on it, dude. That thing could get me to like 450,000 miles on it before it like broke down. Like diesel trucks are made to go, dude.
Yeah.
So like it'd be a nice investment. Obviously gas.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Gas would be tough.
Till that boy Trump get back in.
Shoot, man. Anyways, keep going.
You missing gas prices?
Thinking about the gas prices,
dude. $1.99
man,
versus $3.50.
It's crazy.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, you're right. I've always paid over $3 to $4 for gas. Since I've started driving, I've always paid $3 or $4 for gas.
See, I wonder if it goes down that far again. I guess it got up to like $4.
$4.50 around here.
It did? I don't remember that, but anyways.
It was like peak 2022. I was driving the Burb.
I see. Yeah.
Thankfully, I didn't have to pay for that.
Yeah.
That was filling up like 25 gallons.
Shoot.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. Big bills.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what were we talking about? I got
just like
sidetracked.
how you're not emotionally
like
in it, but it feels like good to give.
Yeah, it does. It's a good feeling.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, he does another one where like business owners call in, and I listened to one of those, and this guy, he's like, yeah, me and my wife started a business. I think it's like centered around health and weight loss and stuff like that, and they gave like out of their gross income, like the gross income of the business.
That's how much you take home, right?
No, that's the
net is how much you take home.
Yeah. So gross is like the top, and
how much money there was.
Yeah, I think he said they made like $5 million, and they gave like 1.9 away of the gross, like before their expenses and stuff like that.
Wow, to just like not $2 million to one place.
I don't know. He didn't specify.
Wow, that's bold.
Mm-hmm. But see, like that's just like, and I think he ended up saying they took home like 700,000. He's like, we're fine.
That's fine.
It's just
that's like a lot of people could live off $700,000.
Yeah, like that.
They can live off $500,000 for the year.
Yeah, like thinking about it, like it's incomprehensible to me. Like, what does that even mean or look like or whatever? It's just a number.
It's so much money though.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm saying though. Like I hear it so like just hearing people talk about it. All I'm hearing is numbers. That's all I'm hearing, and so I'm like, okay, it's just a numbers thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they made decisions based off the numbers and what could work for them, and it's cool. It's really educational. I feel like I'm learning a lot.
Good. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, we did. We can touch on our little community topic that we were gonna
bring up.
Yeah, that we had planned for 2 weeks ago, and
2 weeks ago,
so now we
also
got
kind of planned for this episode. Too.
Yeah. So the big thing, I guess, or the big inspiration for it.
Okay.
I don't know. A little over a year ago, I started going to a Bible study. Group of guys. We would just meet on Monday nights, talk, read the Bible. Someone would kind of lead it, facilitate it. Sometimes it would just turn into an open conversation about a random topic that wasn't intended to be talked about, but it was like someone was going through something, and we just kind of got on a tear, and we talked about it. And now it's kind of evolved into, I don't know, more organized than it was at one point. I invited Chris over the summer once he got out of school.
Oh, Yes, school.
Because you had like
Right,
practice and stuff
everything.
and
I had everything.
school, whatever. So, uh, yeah, it's been a good thing to have a community of people kind of in a similar stage of life, going through different things, being able to talk about things. And we're just going to talk about like some of the valuable things that we've seen in our own life from
Being in a community.
deciding to go do that.
Yeah, because it was a choice,
Yeah.
and I think it's been one of the best decisions
Mm-hmm.
I've made. You've made. Don't know where I'd be at within my own personal life without it,
Yeah.
because I think it gave me a whole new perspective on how I thought about the Bible,
Yeah, me too.
and so
It helped me start reading it really like
yeah,
in a new way, and also really just making a habit of it. I didn't really have a really strict habit of it beforehand. And it was honestly like the low points that like really exemplified the value of it for me.
yeah. I've like, yeah, we can go into this. Like I realized that like kind of what I've been going through in my
Yeah.
day to day,
Mm-hmm.
like, is just a trial. You know,
Yeah.
I don't. Now I'm trying to think if I talked about this last week because I might have, but like, no, because I think I realized it on Wednesday.
Okay.
So like, what I've been going through is just like a trial with my mental battles. Like
Yeah.
that's just my trial, and then um, like with other things in my mind as well, that's like the devil trying to like sound like the Lord, right? Like me, I know what the Lord tells me. Like I think I'm doing better at like discerning his voice,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
But like, and I know what the Lord wants for me. At least I think. But like, then me overthinking those things
Yeah.
is the devil.
Yeah.
You know, so like it's because like the devil like he masks himself right to make him seem like it's good,
Mm-hmm.
but like that overthinking is the devil. You know, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So like I'm starting to pick up what the Lord is showing me, but then it's like overthinking what he's showing me becomes the devil, the enemy.
Yeah. You start being double minded and thinking back and forth and
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
And so then like I'm feeling like these mental struggles are just like my trial, and like I'm gonna get through it with the Lord's help. Like
Yeah.
just this is a time to fully depend on him and for him to do his work and grow closer to him through this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's good.
That was kind of relating to what you said. I forgot what you said that made me bring it up, but
I mean, just how like when you're in low points, having a community of people around is like it was helpful and probably fast tracked solving the stuff like more so than you would if you didn't have people around you who could listen and bounce things off of.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I definitely in the Bible, in the church, but I didn't really feel that community of like believers. I had my friends, but like being surrounded by a community of believers that want to upbring you and like show like that you can all relate to. There's no judgment in a community of like believers. Cuz like at school, there was a lot of judgment, but I will say like just bearing some people that may listen to this, like I can say it was not all judgment from everyone that was in my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But I'm just saying like there was community of believers at school. It's kind of just different now because we had to do it for ourselves.
Yeah, I think like taking into account like the setting and the expectation, like during school, you're growing, you're there to learn, you're there to socialize. It's not really, even though it's a Christian school, it's not really a place to like, you're not really going in with the expectation of like, oh, I'm going to try to surround myself with some believers.
Yeah.
Or like I'm going to be a great person today, or like be able to ask someone like if they need help with anything. It's like you're just going in there to learn and have fun and kick it and do whatever you're being told to do
and hang out with the homies, like just do whatever you need to do to get through the day.
So I think like having a place where the expectation is like I'm gonna go in and learn something, but I know that the people there I'm gonna be able to talk to or will talk to me, and just kind of being prepared for that, I think is also what's helpful.
Yeah.
Like we know what to expect.
Yeah.
We're going in with an expectation, anticipation.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's needed. It was like the first thing that I said to the leader, Zach, when he was like, "What'd you think of it?" My first time I was like, "It was cool that like the environment surrounding this whole thing. Like the environment is what I call it. Like it's a nice environment to be around that I think is like necessary to like live." Didn't know what that meant at the time. I think I know what it means at the time now. But I basically like the first thing I noticed was just like the community,
What's crazy is now too, like there are people who show up regularly, like, oh, they're gonna be there that week. But then there's kind of people who are interchange. Like sometimes they're there. Some people are at school where they're not here right now, like even in the area. And then when there's like a new person who comes in, it's surprising how like open they will be.
Yeah.
It's like just the feeling in the room, like it's like you're prompted to say something that you never would have said, like that you never thought that you would say.
And it's not out of like fear though. It's like out of like, man, I really feel like I need to say this right now.
Yeah. Like I remember before I brought you, I brought a few of my friends like here and there, and like they would say things that I'm like, dude,
Whoa.
that's actually pretty big that like you could say that, or that you wanted to say that. So like if you have something that you want to do or grow in, and being able to have people to surround you with that, like community is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impactful.
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like when I first went, I was just like, no, I'm not gonna say anything. Like I didn't speak at all the first time I went, and then like the second time I was just like, whoa. And I felt compelled to open up about some things that had transpired at the time, and yeah, it was really cool to be open with people.
Do you, I mean, it could be even something that like we've learned about recently or whatever, but like, is there anything that like stands out? Like this is the biggest thing I've learned, or like this is something that like I remember the most. It could be, or like I have like, oh, I read the Bible now more, or like this story explained in this way is way different than I thought before. Or like the application of something, like know what I mean?
Basically everything. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, but if you just had to like pick one that stands out,
I'll do a couple because there's a lot that comes to my mind. Definitely number one biggest thing was like the blood of Jesus was explained to me in a very better way. Yeah. Like a way that I hadn't understand before, and that's why like actually understanding what Jesus' blood means, and like the death on the cross, which is salvation, which I believe I found now.
Do you think you can articulate it?
Yes, I can.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Uh,
I just wasn't sure because I just wasn't sure if you were going there with it, but go ahead.
So like,
Keep going.
like the blood of Jesus, God wants a relationship with us. Like that's all our Heavenly Father, our Creator, wants with us. But because sin entered the world, God and sin are opposite. So like God hates sin. And so like when sin entered the world, like God couldn't go back and like God couldn't fathom that sort of thing, like he couldn't be in a relationship with that. So that's why like the flood happened and all those different things in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And so the only way for that relationship, God had to send his son, Jesus, to live a perfect life, right? He lived the best life anyone has ever lived and ever will live.
Set the example.
He set the example for how a Christian and a believer should live their life. And so now with his death on the cross, he has to die. Like that's the sacrifice. In order for our Heavenly Father to have a relationship with us, his son had to die. And his blood, like we were covered in spots, right? Of just sin that defined us. And so like when he died and his blood was shed there that day and the veil was torn, like God, like that saved us. Like the fact that his blood washes us, like his red blood washes us white as snow,
Yeah.
And it's just that picture of Jesus like looking up to heaven and saying, God, is there any other way for me to do this? And God looking back at him and he goes, sorry, I love Chris too much to keep you. And that's his own son,
Yeah.
It's like fill your name in there, or like fill in your best friend's name, like when you say that, like God, like why are you having me die on the cross? And it's just like I love somebody too much to like let you have to do this in order for me to have that relationship with them. And so just like the sacrifice and the humility behind that is really the biggest thing that I've learned. I think the most beneficial thing I've learned. And yeah. Just a new outlook on hearing Jesus died on the cross.
Yeah. It's become less of a it because of like a flashcard memory, and it's more of like, oh, I get it. I understand.
It's an I get
it.
Yeah.
I feel it. It makes sense in my mind. It's not just like
something I've learned.
Teacher's asking a question and I can answer it. It's like I'm living my personal life and I get it because like how my brain and body are living.
Yeah. Yes. There's something else that just popped in my mind and it just left.
I could talk about the one like just like thinking back to last week. It was pretty interesting. We talked about worship as a topic. In the story, what's that?
Nothing.
In the story was about how
Daniel.
Daniel. And then like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were like they were asked to bow down and worship something, and instead of doing that, which was like the king asked them to bow down and worship the golden idol, instead of doing that, they all three were like in one accord, like, no,
we're good.
We'd rather go, like, because it was like either you worship or you go into the fiery furnace and you burn. And they were like, we know that God will take care of us if we go in there. And even if he doesn't, that's still a better option than worshiping something else.
Right.
And it was like, whoa, their action is what the worship is, and their denial of something that is not of God is also worship.
Dude, yeah.
It's like, oh, that's what that means. It's like to do something or to not do something, but like it, no matter how it would affect you. Like worshiping God isn't like, oh, this is gonna make me feel good. So it could be, but like that story, because I guess that's like a story where it's like, what happened? And it's like I can answer it. I know it. I
Yeah.
know who the people were. I know what happened. I remember the Veggie Tales.
Ugh.
Do you remember the Veggie Tales?
The Chocolate Factory, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Boiling pot of chocolate.
And so I was like, oh,
That's all I think about is the VeggieTales thing. Whenever I hear the freaking Shadrach, Meshach,
So
and
do
Abednego,
so do I.
it's like it's just embedded in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, but yeah, it's like, oh, this is different. This is new. But it's because all of that, like what you had to say, what I had to say, it's all because someone or people are intentionally spending time learning and understanding and sharing. And then and another thing I've learned, like how often the Bible repeats like they heard, or like and they said, or like the people heard and they believed,
Oh
or like he heard this and he did this. It's like, well, in order to hear, someone had to say it. So and that comes from God too. So it's like, it's interesting how that all works. It's not just like it never is, it just is. It's like it happened, there was cause, there was words spoken, there was words heard, there was action taken. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I mean, God put us in those in that circle, in that community. So I don't know where I would be without having that. I definitely wouldn't know as much about the Bible as I do now. Wouldn't have that same mentality I have about my life right now. So it's been cool. It's definitely been a blessing.
Yeah.
And like,
That's good.
I guess the hope would be that in some ways, even though this is, virtual, audio, visual, that this could kind of be that
Right.
in ways.
For people.
Yeah, that's
a big
the
thing.
dream, that's the plan, that's the goal, that's the
That'd be
mission.
awesome.
Is like that
Mission statement.
This is community, and we're able to build that and reflect that, and so just kind of want to give what he gave us.
Right back to everybody and to him.
Mm-hmm. Did that thing ever pop into your mind, or are you good?
I'm good.
Me too.
I'm good, I think.
Yeah, I think that kind of was like everything I wanted to say about it.
Yeah, no, I'm really thankful for the group. I'm really thankful for the people that are in my life. Got a lot of good friends that are great. And so, yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, if you're at this point in the video or the the podcast, if you could leave us a thumbs up, like the video, or 5-star on the audio, what you think. If this is your first episode, thank you for tuning in all the way. If you've been here for a minute, we appreciate you sticking around. We like what we're doing. We like where we're going.
You see that over there?
I don't know why I started talking about this before I noticed that stop sign over there.
Did you see that? Did you see the stop sign over there?
Yeah.
I thought you had missed it.
Yeah, I honestly did at first, but now that you mention it,
It's definitely over there. But like,
yeah.
Speaking of stop signs,
Yeah.
I think
It's time to go.
it might be time to go. This has been episode 91 of the YoungBucks podcast.
Veggie Tales. See ya.
Peace.